Hello, Ben. It's great to have you. It'll be great to hear about a little bit about you and how you got started with franchising.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I've been in franchising for a little over a decade now. Uh, I have 14 Zaxby's, which is Southeastern United States chicken QSR. And then I'm also a Sweat House franchisee. Just got number one opened up back in September and working on number two and three right now. So um, staying plenty busy.
So, before franchising, you were working, I believe, in finance. So, if you share a little bit how you made the switch, and I think a lot of prospective franchisees, there's a bias towards like blue collar sectors, especially when coming from like a blue collar industry. So, how was it for you?
It's funny because I was, just an independent futures trader, and while it can be very sophisticated, a lot of times it's a pretty blue collar profession. For me specifically, I mean, I had some technology tools that helped me, but by and large, I just tried to treat it like a professional sport where, every morning I would wake up, I'll do my trade plan for the day. I'd go over all the scenarios that I thought were possible. I'd go over my risk management plan for the day. Um, I'd highlight good activities and kind of mentally play through what I thought I would do if the market did X, I would do Y. And it's a pretty blue collar thing. You just sit there and grind it out all day. And, a lot of times, it's kind of like a leopard in the jungle. You just sit there and kind of wait for the prey to come to you and try and expend as little effort as possible and capturing your prey. But a lot of the time you're just sitting there doing nothing and just kind of hoping that the market or markets that you're active in, you know, kind of do what you had planned for the previous day. And then at the end of the day, you review what happened. And, like I said, it's very much the way that a professional athlete would, like a professional football team goes through their process. And, they go back and watch the film, see what they could have done better, see where the missed opportunities were, and just try and get a little bit better every day. Um, there's a lot of correlations between what I did previously and just entrepreneurship and franchising in general is that it challenges you in a lot of the same ways that trading does, where by and large you're kind of just competing against yourself, and you're competing. There's no minor leagues in trading. There's no minor leagues in franchising or small business ownership. I mean, the second you step your foot onto the playing field, I mean, you're playing with the professionals. Like there's no minor league of trading, no minor league of small business ownership. You're competing with the best of the best as soon as you step on the field. So it's very similar in that regard. It'll test you physically and especially mentally, both for trading and for franchising. Um, it'll teach you a lot about yourself really quickly, and there's I love all the similarities between the two, even though they're very distinct professions.
Cool.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I was just going to add a follow-on question there. So there are sort of two things I wanted to check with you to see, like, what your view on based on that topic. So do you feel like you have more agency? You can change more, you're more in control of your destiny with franchising than with trading or investing? That's the first one.
Yes and no. Again, unless you're automating your trading systems, which I did a little bit, But I was still pretty much a manual trader. So it's very much a eat what you kill type game. And, if you're not in front of the screen, then you're not making money. Whereas with franchising, and this is like the whole reason why I even got into franchising, is, I wanted to be able to make money while I was sleeping. And, you can do it to an extent in trading, but, I was largely just a day trader, so I didn't hold anything overnight. So, I'm very much not an investor in the typical sense. You can still scale through trading. You just keep adding more and more size or more contracts to the trades. So you can still scale in that profession, but in franchising, small business ownership, you can scale and truly make money while you sleep and have a business that hopefully can run without you one day. And that's when it really starts to get fun, is when you reach that scale to where you have hopefully other people running the day-to-day operations for you, and that's when it gets fun.
Cool. So I'll just add a second follow-on question before I hand it out to Miriam. And I was going to point out, like, if anyone has questions, please post them in the Q&A as we go along, so we can, ask them to Ben. But the second follow-on question I had was, do you find it to be any less competitive? Because, like, one theory is that when you're trading markets, like, you could be trading and the other person on the other side is Judge Soros, Bridgewater. Like, every time you're trading against everybody in the world. Versus if you find a territory, sure, it's competitive, but you're not competing with everyone in the world for that geography. Do you find that to be true or false?
I think it's really about the same. Just like I said, there's no minor leagues. Like in either case, it's not like you get to kind of ease into it. I suppose in trading you can do, paper trading, with not real money, and see if this thing is going to actually work. But you can't really do that in business. I mean, you can do some kind of proof of concept stuff, but once you open those doors, you're competing with everyone in your genre. And I don't think competition's a bad thing. I think it's largely a good thing. It'll keep pushing you to get better. It forces you to keep evolving. And generally competition's good. I'm friends with Chick-fil-A operators. I'm friends with old Raising Cane's franchisees. I have friends in Bojangles and Popeyes. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. But you do need to be ready for it, because, if you have a successful business, there's always going to be people coming for your market share. And that's just, luckily, that's the way capitalism works.
Yeah. So when you made the switch, like what was it like for you initially? Let's say like the first maybe like 100 years, or the first 100 days, or like the first year.
Well, I started off in just one restaurant, and I was still very new to it. There's a ton that I didn't know what I didn't know. And a lot of it was just kind of baptism by fire. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you like I enjoyed every day, because I certainly didn't. I was the cook, I was the cashier, I was the manager, kind of your prototypical single unit franchisee. So there's a lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights, a lot of learning lessons the hard way. The first 2 years especially. But once you get past that kind of initial gauntlet phase, I'm extremely grateful that I went through that period, because it made me into the franchisee that I am today. And I still reference that time quite frequently when I'm making decisions now. While it's not impossible to skip that step and be successful, I think you'll find a lot of the people that are top performers in any brand um, did not skip that step, and or they hire people that did not skip that step. So like I said, there's plenty of days and times when it sucked, and I had worked 100 hours in that week, and was just running on fumes. But whatever it is that's driving you, whatever chip on your shoulder you may have, and it's different for everyone, and it's unique for everyone. But that's my unique chip. Is what still pushes me to this day, and it doesn't matter what the reason is as long as you have. Um, and
I
and
don't mean
so
to be, I don't mean to be nosy, but do you mind telling us what is the chip on your shoulder?
oh yeah, I mean a lot of people told me I was going to fail, and that I didn't know what I was doing, and that it that I had a lot of people that wouldn't say it to my face, but I found out through other people that not that they were actively rooting for me to fail, but they weren't exactly excited to see me succeed either. um that's the same thing that motivates me now is there's I played sports growing up, and I just I hate to I think I hate to lose more than I like to win. And losing pisses me off, and that's what gets me out of bed every day is I don't want to lose.